You are now tuned in to the Expert Advice for Men podcast. For more information, visit us at www.expertadviceformen.com. And here is your host, Bill Town Bradley.
Aloha and mahalo, guys. In this episode, we're going to the beautiful island of Maui to interview Hawaii's top fitness authority, Justin Yanagida of Yanagida Fitness. Now, our guest Justin isn't some online Instagram personal trainer dishing out one-size-fit-all workout routines and never works hands-on with his clients. Nah, we don't present guests like that. We deliver proven experts. Yanagida Fitness is an actual warehouse-sized gym located in Wailuku, Maui, which is currently expanding to 3,600 square feet. Justin's successful business has 12 employees. His gym has been featured in Maui News and PBS Hawaii. Justin is also the author of the book Fighting Sickness with Fitness, which I downloaded and thoroughly enjoyed. And Justin is doing all of this at only 26 years of age. Yes, a 26-year-old business owner that supports 12 employees. Not only did Justin accomplish all these great things at such a young age, but he didn't come from privilege or inherited huge wealth. He did it all the hard way, with many failures and relaunches of his ideas along the way. Now, I initially crafted this episode as a simple health and fitness feature, perhaps get someone on our show to dish out some tips or workout advice, but it was clear that Justin's story goes beyond simple fitness. Listen to this episode if you need inspiration in either starting your business or if people doubt your entrepreneurial goals. Justin delivers on the specific steps he takes and the mentors he receives advice from that not only helped launch his business, but will sustain it in the future. A little giveaway, guys. One of his mentors is Grant Cardone. Yes, that Grant Cardone. So guys, let's get into the interview already. Here is Justin Yanagida, owner of Yanagida Fitness in Wailuku, Maui, Hawaii. And good morning, Justin. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, man?
We're doing great. Now, before we get started, we ask all our guests their age to get a better context of your life and story. Justin, how old are you? And tell everybody where you're from.
Man, so guys, I'm 26 years old, born and raised in Maui, in Hawaii. And that's where I'm currently running operations right now.
Excellent. And we met about 8 years ago. I was trying to think. Back in Seattle, you came to train at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I trained at Marcelo Alonso, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out to MABJJ, you guys in Seattle. And you made a really great impression on me, being that when you guys who train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you go into another academy, be respectful. Justin, you were respectful. You were very, very good technically, very strong. Gave advice. You weren't out there killing people, trying to rip people's heads off. And then I remember you brought some Hawaiian treats for the academy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember, and that's why I followed you on Instagram. And here we are, fast forward today. You're a businessman, gym owner, and you're also a published author of the book, Fighting Sickness with Fitness. In your book, you made mention growing up, you were overweight, bullied, made fun of. Please tell us about your life growing up.
Oh, absolutely, man. So growing up, I was the asthmatic kid. There was multiple times where I died, but one memory I have specifically was I remember being in the ER and I'm looking straight up, but there's just bright lights everywhere. And I was minutes away from being brain dead. Now, all I remember was that people were freaking out. I couldn't breathe, oxygen mask. I'm like stuck with all these crazy things, and all the inhalers and corticosteroids for my lungs led to me gaining a lot of weight. So I ended up being 40 pounds overweight, and I was easy pickings for being bullied because you're overweight kid. English is my second language. So my culture, my language is a little bit different from the normal kids that used to be hanging around. And that's the reason why I ended up taking up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the first place, is to defend myself. Going into the bullying, I want to go into real quick is in detail. I'm ready to get in my second book. I want to share that taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really not only gave me the tools, but that mindset and that confidence that I'll be okay no matter what. And I specifically remember I was in the wrestling room. I'm trying out for wrestling now after I took jiu-jitsu. And there's this guy, I know him. He always likes to pick on me and screw with me. And he wanted to make an example of me in front of everybody and just called me out in front of everybody. He was like, all right, man, me and you right now, let's go. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm good, man. Like, I don't want no trouble. And he immediately like went for a double leg takedown. And then within like 30 seconds, he's in a triangle choke. And I told him, get off of me, man, get off of me. So, and then we resolved it. I've never been bullied after that because everybody just saw that. So I'm really grateful for self-defense and jiu-jitsu and not only the tools, but the confidence it's given me in life after that. I mean, I could go off on tangents on this, so I'll stop right there.
So growing up, your association with food, how was your association growing up? I know in Hawaii, there's lots of carbs, lots of rice. Tell us about your association with food.
Oh man, it was crazy. So growing up, I had so many ethnic backgrounds living around me. So we had the Hawaiians, I had a Filipino neighbor, I had Mexican neighbors, Korean. I mean, everything you think of. And a lot of them in my area, we grew up in the lower income side. They were all immigrants. The parents were all immigrants. So they would make like authentic Korean, Filipino, Hawaiian food. It was so good. You know, that was pretty much my childhood. And then throughout my teens, there was a time when my family's small restaurant went out of business and we literally had no revenue, no income. We were like poor, broke, everything, mindset, spiritually, emotionally. We were just like no food. And I recall a time when we would go to our local store, we would actually go to the store manager and all the food that they're throwing away, we would beg them to just take it because even if it's expired milk, moldy bread, my mom would take that. She would cut the mold off and literally throw in the toaster oven and say, here's food. And me being like 11, 12 years old, I don't know anything, right? I'm just grateful for food. Because of that too, it led to some not so good activities.
And in your book, you referenced also your turnaround came from a liver condition that forced you to take your health more seriously.
Absolutely. So when I was 19, I had already been doing all the crazy stuff. I've been partying. I've been doing all this stuff. I was like smoking weed every day. It was like twice a day, 3 times a day. It was just addiction to so many bad habits. But the alcohol one was the main one. So I have a pre-existing liver condition, and with the alcohol, it literally flared it up. So when you take a blood test, an enzyme blood test, it's supposed to be within 0 to 1,000 for healthy people with healthy livers. Now for mine, it was in the 3 million zone. So they were saying that at this rate, I'm going to get liver cirrhosis, liver cancer, and end up not living to see my 30th birthday. That scared the hell out of me. I don't know if you call that like mortality motivation. I was like scared. Like after that, I'm like, dude, I got to change my life. I got to get back to training. I got to get back to eating healthy. I got to get back to sleeping early, stop the partying, quit the drugs. And I just literally got my life together at 19 years old.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, to find that kind of insight at 19 is incredible. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that have the same short stories. They found themselves through health and fitness, but you went to the next level. You started a gym from scratch. And I remember seeing your first Instagram posts with a small gym coming out of a garage to where you are now in a huge warehouse space. I mean, you turned it around. Can you tell us the story about your turnaround in the beginning of Yanagida Fitness?
Absolutely. So I came back from Seattle. I had $59 in my bank account and I so desperately wanted to go into group fitness because I was doing personal training here and there. But I really found it to be beneficial to train in groups and camaraderie, have that team vibe. And so I went to go buy 2 pieces of equipment. I bought a 10-pound slam ball, and then I bought a speed agility ladder. And that's all I could afford at the time with $59. And we started using all kinds of stuff. Even to this day, it was just being resourceful when you don't have resources. Even now, it's all about being resourceful. So we would use tires, we would use tree trunks, we would use sledgehammers, and we still use some of these things today. And we literally just started in that fashion and just treating every single person like the most important person, making them and just being present with every exercise, every day. It was just giving that vibe that you're important to me. And it literally just started growing 1 person to 2 person to 4 people to 10 people. And here we are today.
And how many how many clients did you start with, and where did you start your first gym? Was that like literally out of your garage?
Great question. So literally the first one was right out of the garage. I had zero. And I don't know anything about business, no marketing, nothing, no sales. And I just post on Facebook. I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to be doing a free workout, free, right? I'm like, hey, just come free workout. I'm a personal trainer. Come check it out. It's free normally or whatever. And I'm so confident, but nobody ended up showing up. And there I was. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? When you have low self-esteem, you have a low self-image, it's hard to take it in. At first, it's like, wait a minute. Nobody wants to show up. But that's how I started, out of the backyard. And it wasn't, the first 2 years were all false starts. The first 2 years, it was, I would get 3 or 4, 5, 6 people, and then it would drop back to 1 or 2. Next 6 months, same thing. And there'd be a lot of times when there'd be 0 people that showed up. And I remember in my head, I remember thinking, why is it so tough to get people for free, to work out for free? And thank God I came across one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, and he said that don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. And that immediately made me think, like, okay, well, obviously I got to get better at marketing and sales. And I hated these things. And with the practice, and then there's a lot of mentors I follow now, from the Grant Cardones, Tony Robbins, all that, but mainly Grant Cardone's sales strategy. And that was the game changer and literally helped me think 10 times bigger at the minimum and get to where we are now in the last 3 years.
It would be amazing. What you're saying is about taking action and doing things. I know I talked to so many people, and actually just talked to somebody yesterday. Hey guys, I had this idea for this, this, and this, and this, and they keep up coming with ideas and they just don't execute. They don't even try to take action on them. I remember saying to people, I'm going to start a podcast, and just doing it. And like you said in the beginning, you may not know what you're doing. You may not have all the answers, but when you start on something, you start looking for those answers, and magically it's amazing how those answers came. And it sounds like it came. I mean, it shows in your case, your business grew. And how big is your gym now, and what part of Maui are you located?
Oh, great question. So we're actually going to be expanding.
That's awesome.
And we're currently about 1,400 square feet. And we're located right in Wailuku. This is about 10 minutes away from the Kahului airport. Everybody flies in. And right in central Maui. So it's a nice, convenient location, accessible to anybody.
And guys, I mentioned that you guys should follow Yanagida Fitness and Justin on your Instagram. You've posted so many great videos and inspirational notes, and it's really inspirational. I think guys should listen to that, and also just listen to what your ideas about fitness are. I was reading your book, and what inspired you to write Fighting Sickness with Fitness? It
actually stemmed from when I was a freshman in high school. I was 14, and I remember going to my English teacher. English was my second language. I always struggled with it. And I remember going to my teacher and asking her, hey, I want to be an author one day, because I was inspired by, I think it was J.K. Rowling's, her story and how she wrote Harry Potter. So I'm over here thinking, yeah, I want to write a book one day. And she literally straight up tells me, hey, son, just focus on, don't even worry about that. Forget about that dream. Just pass my class. So yeah, right after that, I actually stumbled upon Bob Proctor. Are you familiar with Bob Proctor?
I've heard the name. Please let us know.
So basically, he is one of the main teachers of the Think and Grow Rich concept that a lot of the entrepreneurs today have studied. And it was a movie, The Secret, and it was all about the law of attraction, law of vibration. And everybody in my room that I watched it around the same time thought it was nuts. Visualizing, manifestation. And I had a burning image that I was going to have a book with the yellow with red letters that said sickness, and fitness was in blue letters. I literally had that burned in my brain for a long time. And I thought, what better time than now? And I literally had no idea how to write a book too. Anything, no publishing, no nothing. And I just told myself, I'm going to give myself 4 months, 16 weeks. I'm going to pay for it. So I'm committing first, pay for everything, and just go with it. If I don't publish, then I just there's no way I'm not going to do it. And the other thing was notoriety. And my mentors have always said that books are one of the best business cards. To this point, I don't know how many referrals and how much, not only translation into money, but in contracts and relationships and network, that it gives a strong impression when we're exchanging business cards. And I say, I don't have business cards, but I have something better. And then I'll pull out like a copy of my book. I'll say, here. And then I put my phone number in it, call me, boom. That's very powerful. That was another reason why I wanted to get the book out, notoriety as well. Just prove to myself I can.
Right. And as I read it, there are some really great points. I mean, there's a lot of fitness and health books out there. Yours is very digestible with a ton of great actionable steps. Not to give the whole book away, but the couple of ones that I took away, health equals wealth. You said that healthy clients that you see that are working out, taking better care of their health, they're doing better in business, relationships, and life in general. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So this is a trend that I started noticing about 3 years ago. My clients, when they first started coming to me, they would have like a job and then they're not happy. They're not healthy, and they're not wealthy at all. And once they start training with us, they start losing the 20 pounds, the 50 pounds, whatever their transformation might be. Their self-confidence and their self-image and their brain completely change. And now they're not afraid to ask for a better job. They magically get promoted. They get moved up in ranks, whatever it might be. Their salary doubles. I've heard many things from people going from entry-level jobs to director and managerial positions, and people getting raises. And most of our members end up having some sort of massive benefit in their family or their careers once they start having that transformation, because it's so infectious. When you have a strong posture, when your muscles are nice and strong, your shoulders are pulled back, your chest is coming out. When you're walking proud, your head's not coming down and your head's neutral. It's not up, it's neutral. Same with the legs. When the legs and core are strong, your hips don't sag, your hips stand straight up. Those are just some of the qualities that I noticed in a lot of our members. And they tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, ever since we started working out, I lost the 45 pounds. I can easily afford a membership now. I got 2 raises in the last 6 months. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, like you said, people take notice. And there's nothing a better feeling than after really tough, strenuous workout, you get those endorphins that hit you. And it does affect everything, not just in your health, but your relationships, business, just the way you feel. And people do take notice of that. Now, another point of your book that I really enjoyed is to take massive action and tell 5 of your friends your goals to hold you accountable. And then you also said, write down in big print, big juicy goals, not just little tiny goals. Explain to us what you meant by big juicy goals there.
Absolutely. Okay. So the first point, the massive action, I'm a big believer in just doing something, because doing creates momentum. Sitting there thinking and pondering actually can make us go backwards, because you can get analysis paralysis. That's the old quote. And going back into telling the 5 people, that's the next point, is when you tell 5 people in your life that you can really trust, then that even if they give you negative feedback of, oh, you're not going to do it or whatnot, just tell them, guys, all I need from you right now, you guys are the 5 most important people. All I need to hear from you is I support you and I got you. If not, keep it to yourself. But by doing that, they're going to hold you accountable. They're going to be like, hey, how's it going, man? Are you doing good?
Right.
And you can always kind of check back. Going into the big juicy goals, I still do this every day. Every day, I write down my goals in the present tense. I got this from Grant Cardone. I write my goals in the present tense every single day. And at first, it was, I would start it with, I am so happy and grateful. So it's a combination of Bob Proctor and Cardone. I am so happy and grateful. And then everything is present tense. So in the beginning, I would write, I am so happy and grateful. I earn $4,000 a month. And then when you cross that off, I'm so happy and grateful I have 10,000 plus a month, or whatever the goals are. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 10 employees, or I'm so happy and grateful that my health is X, Y, and Z. And just writing it in present tense makes us really think about it, because our brain can't tell the difference between something fake and imagine. And this is how we can give ourselves anxiety attacks, and we can start sweating just thinking about something we're scared of. And faith and fear makes us both believe in something that's not here physically, right? Faith is something that wow, that's a great goal. Man, I'm gonna get after it. Fear is the same thing, but it's just manifested into, oh my gosh, what if X, Y, and Z happens? I'm screwed. So I like writing the goals down just to keep my attention on where I'm going.
And they also say, like, if you don't write your goals down, you forget about them. So write them down,
Oh,
look at them, review them. And just like
mhm.
for a second there, I forgot we were doing a podcast. I was just listening to everything you were saying and taking it all in. Man, that's a lot of insight right there. And you have a new book coming out this fall. You talked about. Could you tell us about your new book coming out?
Absolutely. So new book coming out. It's October 29th. It's the rendition of Fighting Sickness with Fitness. This time, there's a lot more insights. So in just the last few years, I've invested $80,000 in personal development and flights and all that, etc.
Wow.
in myself, because I know the best investment is ourselves. And I know I'm worth 80 grand, more than that. So from Grant Cardone, from Forbes Riley, from mentorships to masterminds, so many different avenues and so much insight on the mindset and the emotion. So I really believe it's mind, body, spirit. And there's so many different types of fitness: emotional fitness, mental fitness, physical fitness. And I'm writing about a whole bunch of different avenues in the next book. And I'm actually in the process of finishing editing it right now.
All right, so let's test your skills here. Let's do a little role play. Say I'm
Absolutely.
42 years old and I come into
Yep.
your gym, or maybe I'm just talking to you on the street and I'm saying, I want to work out, but I have a wife and kids and I work 40 hours a week. I don't have time to work out. What would you say to that person?
So right off the bat, is this a guy or woman?
Gentleman, myself. Let's say myself.
Okay. If you're 42, yeah, I would absolutely say, are you using your family as an excuse for your own? Are you using them as an excuse? I would first ask them that. Are you
Okay.
using your loved ones as an excuse? I would say you got the wrong program. You have to absolutely put yourself and your health and energy first, because when you're not happy and energetic and you're not healthy, you're not good to nobody.
But
So let's do it.
But Justin, I'm always too tired.
That's a great one too. I hear that all the time. When they tell me they're too tired, I say, okay, well, that's obviously a sign. Now for guys, I would say your sex life probably sucks too. It
So
probably sucks.
yeah, so how about if they say, well, I'm too old. I don't want to hurt myself. I'm too frail.
Now, if they're that approach, I would say, sir, we customize the program for you. We have people all the way up to 86 years old. So please don't worry. We're going to take care of you. And let's do this. Would you want to do 4 a.m. or you want to do 8 p.m.? I know you have a busy schedule.
And no BS. I've seen your website and your Instagram. You do have people from all age ranges and not just, these athletic 20-year-old somethings. You've got moms, single moms, you got moms with kids, you've got dads, you've got grandparents, the whole gamut. So how about if you get that person who says, I'm too young, I don't want to embarrass myself working out?
That's a great one too. So first, I would want to hear their experience too, like why they feel that way. Were they shamed before? Were they made fun of? Or sometimes they were bullied. I've had athletes who, because I've opened up about my depression and my suicide and the suicide attempts in the past, I've had athletes come up to me who were 40 pounds underweight or sometimes overweight as well too. And first thing they tell me is something similar. I'm too ashamed of, groups because of, low self-confidence. They're not going to tell me that. So I go into a one-on-one situation. I start talking to them and immediately it's apparent that they're depressed. And we start working on that confidence. So with that, I tell them, okay, we're going to just meet me and you privately. What day works best for you? And I always go with open questions instead of like yes or no's, just so they're like, okay, Friday afternoon would work for me. Great. And it's normally just me and them.
So you custom tailor. And that's the one thing I like about your approach. I've seen so many online people who do a lot of fitness training and selling of goods. It's like a one program fits all. I mean, even when I go to the gym, I see these young, jacked, athletic people putting people who are probably 40 pounds overweight through so much crazy, strenuous calisthenics. After a week, I don't see those people anymore because obviously they just did a one-stop shopping training program for those people and they probably injured themselves and just got burnt out. So I really respect and appreciate that you really custom tailor your approach to who your client is. Justin, we are heading toward the end of our program here. We're going to segue into what we call the E4Q. And if you've listened to our podcast in the past, this stands for the exclusive 4 questions we ask all our guests to get personal insight, especially from a young entrepreneur and business owner like yourself. Gosh, at 26 years old, you're doing all this great stuff, man. It's very impressive. So let's number 1 question. Let's name a place you've traveled or an adventure you've done that you feel every man should experience once in their life.
Traveling abroad for me is going to Japan. It is such a beautiful country. The culture is just so hard to describe unless you're there. The respect. I mean, everything, just from the fact that when you're on the escalator, everybody moves to one side to let the people rushing go up. Simple things like that. Different foods, the mannerisms, the people, the connectivity, and just seeing with a different lens. And when we come back to our lives, it gives a different lens, and we can see with a different perspective, different appreciation, and it gives me a deeper sense of gratitude for sure.
You just made a great point about the perception and lens. You do really take those experiences traveling abroad and come back and you look at your life a lot different. I seem to appreciate the things I have more and actually complain less when you do travel abroad and you see you actually have the opportunities here that some people in the other countries may not have. Question number 2, what is a skill you possess or you wish you possessed that you feel every man should possess?
Oh man, every man should possess the ability to connect with others, to genuinely connect with others. There's so many skills that I really believe is necessary, from sales to everything, but the ability to connect with others on a genuine level is one of the most important skills that I've learned in the last 4 years that's been game changing. And I know it's the one skill that's going to take me to the next level, through the next 3 levels, because without people, we don't have anything. So connecting with others would be the skill.
That's awesome. So question number 3, give us an app on your phone that you use every day that you think everybody should use.
Oh man, in today's world, if we don't use social media, we don't exist. So I'm banging Instagram and Facebook all the time. More so, I'll do it on Instagram and then I'll repost it on Facebook because most of our target market is on Facebook. But Instagram is fun too. But there's a lot of features where you can simultaneously use both. But social media, Instagram and Facebook for sure, because without them, we don't exist in today's world.
Right. And just go back to question number 2, like you said, connecting with people. And I feel the same way when people don't want to use social media. It's great. You don't want to use it all the time as far as posting what you ate or your new car. Maybe that's not what you're into, but just connecting with people, old family members, friends that you haven't seen in a while, and for yourself to connect with your clients and other business relationships. It is a very important tool, and people shouldn't neglect social media altogether. Now, question number 4, this is our last question. What piece of advice right now, your older self, give to your younger self, let's say about 5 years ago?
Oh my God. By the way, I got to just say, you look freaking awesome for 42.
Thank you, sir. It's that jiu-jitsu, and also trying to work out and doing all the things that you said, staying away from the craziness.
Is younger than you said.
I appreciate it.
So that is phenomenal.
Thank you.
So first off, I would say the thing I would tell myself 5 years ago is that it's okay to want more. It's okay to want to help more people. It's okay to want to dream big. And it's okay to commit without knowing all the details. That's what I would tell myself 5 years ago. Because in that 5 years ago, I was a lost guy. I had all these things I kind of wanted to do, but it wasn't fully committed. And that's why the results were the results 5 years ago to the results of today. And those are the things I would definitely tell myself. It's okay to dream big. It's okay to want to help more people. And it's okay to want more for yourself as well.
Awesome. Justin, thank you for your time. Now, just guys to listen, make sure you're following Justin's social media channels here on Instagram, especially Yanagida Fitness. And we're going to have all the correct spellings and all that stuff on our show notes. You have your book, Fighting Sickness with Fitness. You can find that on Amazon, all the major book distributors out there online, and your website, yanagidafitness.com. And when do you have planned to have that second book out again now?
October 29th.
All right, guys. So check it out. Once it's released too, I'd love to have you back. We could have gone in so many directions with this interview as far as entrepreneurship, fitness, your books. But thank you for your time again, Justin. And we'd love to have you back on our show again in the future.
Can't wait.
It's clear to me after interviewing Justin and our past guests, these business owners are successful because they genuinely care about the people they serve. And they use that word often, service. The most successful businesses focus on service first, taking care of their customers and clients, and their businesses grow organically from that honest approach. I like it and feel the same way. Thank you for joining us, guys. Be sure to join us every Monday for a new episode release. Until then, go out there and make it happen.
Thank you for listening to the Expert Advice for Men podcast with your host, Belltown Radley. If you enjoyed our show, make sure to rate it 5 stars, leave a positive comment, and share it with your friends. Your support means everything. Until next time, this is the Expert Advice for Men podcast.